Relax. Stress will just make your symptoms worse.
Eli is a 2019 horror movie that is one of the most ridiculous pieces of content that I've seen on the Netflix platform, with a twist that is so degenerate and deranged that I was honestly left gagged. So obviously I had to make a video about it. Alright, so we got this kid Eli who's messed up, absolutely fucked, because he is allergic to air, and also water that isn't very pure. Yeah. If he goes outside, his skin will break out into hives, he will aggressively cough, and he will die. That means he cannot post up at any outdoor functions, he cannot take a normal shower, and he cannot take a breath of fresh air. You know how the weather app will tell you if the air quality is trash? Yeah, it doesn't matter for him. If it's not perfect, he's cooked. It's very unfortunate. When he's inside, he has to be in whatever this is, and when he goes outside, he has to be in a hazmat suit. And if you didn't feel bad enough for him, we get this scene where these randoms just throw a firework at him, causing him to fall and rip his suit, which almost kills him. Oh, no. Not great. So Eli's parents are taking him to see this miracle worker doctor who's supposed to cure him of his rare disease. This doctor, Isabella Horn, has got this clean house that apparently has no contaminants, so Eli doesn't have to worry about the air destroying him. Nice. But from the moment they get there, the movie makes it very obvious that this place is slimy. For one, the nurses just look at Eli super ominously for no reason at all. Like, what's the point of potentially creeping him out, especially if you're actually doing sketchy stuff here? Like, there's no way you were told to do this. Two, when Eli asks the doctor if she cured all her past patients, she just avoids answering the question.
And you've cured all of them?
Eli, I know you're nervous, but you don't need to be.
Why would you not just lie and say yes? Like, what is he gonna do, fact check you? Three, there's parts of the clean house that aren't clean, so they're sealed off. And Eli just sees a person chilling in one of these parts. But he decides to just not say anything. Four, the first night he's there, he has a little supernatural encounter in the form of this cheap ass jump scare. So we've established that this place is weird. The next day, Eli starts his viral gene therapy treatment to cure his disease, which is so ridiculous. The doctor takes this crazy ass tool and starts drilling into his leg so they can pull out this small piece of flesh. I think they numbed a part of his leg, but is it not crazy that bro is still conscious during this? If you raw dog the surgery like this, like drilled into my leg with minimal anesthesia, I'd probably start barking and just like force myself to take a shit. Huh? Then Eli just sees a ghost. That shit looks like a video game. Now, if I haven't explicitly said it yet, this movie is not very good. But I think that's because it's just kind of all over the place. Like, most of the movie is Eli figuring out that this place and this doctor are bad. And the main thing that helps him come to this conclusion is that he is literally seeing ghosts. And this is where most of the movie's horror is supposed to come from. But the problem is that it's just not good. Except for this. This is kind of cool. Huh? But overall, we're getting very basic supernatural horror stuff here. You've got ghosts that look like shit.
Oh my god.
And a bunch of jump scares that'll definitely startle you, but don't actually create any real fear. Like this one, for example. This might make you jump, it might even make you let out a little fart, but you're not actually scared. And this is problematic. One, because this is a horror movie and the horror isn't scary. And two, they use the supernatural stuff to help move the plot along. So because the supernatural stuff is pretty basic, I thought a lot of the movie was kind of lame. There's a scene where Eli writes his name on a window to see if a ghost will respond, and in return the ghost writes, lie.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Lie? Eli? So the doctor is lying, you know? There's another scene where a ghost is messing with him and he runs into a closet and the ghost just writes lie all over the closet. But why does the E look like that? Look at it. That's weird, right? Also, I should mention that Sadie Sink, or Max from Stranger Things, is in this movie. She kind of just randomly shows up 25 minutes in and plays this kid that lives near the house and I guess is interested in what's happening there. She can't actually come into the house, but her and Eli become cool. Pretty much the point of her character is to confirm Eli's suspicions that the house is weird and tell him about the kids that were there before. Honestly, she's a really good actor. I feel like they should have just given her the lead role, but you know, who cares? Outside of the weird ghost parts and Max, Dr. Horn is just doing these crazy ass things to Eli. She puts a drill through his head. This dude has the POV of a fucking garbage disposal. And once again, they give him a shot, but he's still conscious. They put a drill in his head. Why are you not putting him to sleep? Now this whole time, Eli has been trying to tell his parents about the ghosts and that the treatments are making him worse, but they just don't believe him. So he of course spazzes.
Let's make our wish.
I don't want to make a fucking wish!
Oh my god.
Shut up, mom, bitch. And at this point, you gotta figure that whatever is going on, the parents are in on it because it's like they're actively trying to not believe him. Like they could see a ghost break every bone in his body and throw his ass out the window and they'd still be like, nah, I think it's just the hallucinations though. So after this, they give Eli diazepam so he can go to sleep before they do the final treatment. But Eli doesn't actually take the pill. For some reason, they didn't ask him to lift his tongue when he took it. Then while looking at his fucked up closet, he notices that the ghost didn't write lie all over it, but instead wrote 317 upside down. That's why the E looks like that. And at this point, Eli starts to wonder if the ghosts are actually trying to help him instead of hurt him. But I do wonder why they wouldn't just write 317 normally. Like, what's the point of writing it upside down? You're making it more complicated for no reason. All because you want to be quirky and shit. Anyways, we then see Dr. Horn burning Eli's hazmat suit. So if it wasn't clear before, she's not trying to cure him. Now Eli thinks that 317 is potentially a code to a room that holds information on the truth about Dr. Horn, which is a bit of a reach, but it makes sense for him to try it given the situation. So at 1:37 a.m., see what they did there? 1:37, 371, Eli, lie. He goes to a room with a lock, enters in the basic ass code, and what do you know, he has access to all the delicious secrets. He then looks at the files of the old patients and finds out that they all died after the third treatment. And it just so happens that Eli is on the third treatment. Oh no! During this time, we get this conversation between Eli's parents, where we find out that the dad lied to the mom about Dr. Horn curing all of her patients, so she's not actually a miracle worker. The dad also reveals that Dr. Horn doesn't believe Eli will survive the third treatment, making it even more clear that she's trying to off him. So the mom is like, whoa, you're a liar, and I'm taking Eli away from here. So she goes to pack the car. Alright, this shit is about to get a little crazy. Bear with me. We go back to Eli, who now has proof that Dr. Horn is shady, so he goes to tell his parents. But when he tells his dad what he found, his dad just starts saying bullshit. He literally hears what Eli says and is just like, I'm sorry, and puts a needle in his arm. He clearly just wants this kid to die and has nothing but coochie on his mind. He's sick, but I understand. For some reason, the needle doesn't do anything, and Eli runs into Dr. Horn's office, where he finds a picture of her in a nun fit. Yep, just wait for it. He then finds this door to an underground room with a bunch of religious stuff. Dr. Horn figured he would do this and locks him in the room, at which point he passes out from the air. But he doesn't die. He actually wakes up and isn't sick at all, so he's like, what the hell? His mom comes back to check on him, and he plays dead to get her to unlock the room and slaps the shit out of her with the crucifix. Eli starts running again, and his dad chases after him. And while he's running, the lights in the hallway start flickering, and there's a moment where he turns to look at his dad, and his dad falls. And at this point, I'm like, excuse me, does this motherfucker have powers?
Bro, what's going on?
This isn't even the most ridiculous part. So Eli gets caught, and while this is happening, his mom wakes up after being knocked out and decides to open the well that's in the room, in which she finds the corpses of Dr. Horn's previous patients. This shit is nasty, bro. So the mom is appalled and is like, OMG, Eli was right. Crazy that it took her this long to realize that. So she goes to save Eli, but her husband wants him to stay so his soul can be saved.
I thought I could cure Eli. God knows I wanted to. The gene therapy would have worked if he weren't so strong. He's too far gone. But he could still be saved.
Then Dr. Horn is like, you haven't done anything wrong, Eli, but you will. and starts throwing holy water on him, which he does not like. It's eviscerating his skin. Then she tries to kill him, but Eli uses his telekinesis, yes, to make her use the knife on herself. So he does have powers. Then he just burns out of the restraints. Yeah, he's a demon. He looks so fucked right now. So the doctors are like, fuck this, we gotta get out of here immediately. But Eli is like, hold on, you haven't been punished yet. Time to get put on X-Hamster. This dude has them floating and T-posing upside down. This is nuts. Then he forces his mom to tell him the truth about what he is. And she's like, listen, we gave you holy water to suppress your supernatural abilities. Sorry. Which makes Eli even more pissed, so he decides to light the doctors on fire. We then find out that because she couldn't have a baby, I'm guessing, Eli's mom decided to have a baby with the devil. So he's out here fucking humans. And Eli is a human-demon hybrid, literally a child of Satan. Also, the mom mentions that Satan apparently promised her Eli would be normal, and it's just like, of all people, you believe the devil? You little idiot. Then Eli's dad, who I guess is actually his stepdad that probably just didn't feel like dealing with him anymore, tries to kill him, but Eli makes his face explode. But he decides to not off his mom because at the end of the day, she was just trying to save him and her heart was in the right place. But he does snatch her cross chain out of respect for his daddy. He then walks out of the house as his footsteps are literally fire and sees Max outside, where she tells him that the previous patients of the house were also children of Satan and that she is as well.
Dad gets around.
So I guess every child of Satan comes to this place. I don't know. And the reason she didn't tell him this sooner is because he needed to prove that he was strong enough to escape the house before she took him to see their dad. Then they force Eli's mom to drive them to see Satan, wherever that is, and I have nothing else to say about this movie. Goodbye. I love you.